You'll see if they pull up if there's like 1, 2.
I'm probably not going something happened, didn't happen.
Wednesday. set.
You came up with it too?
Yeah.
You see this swap?
I need to see that.
LeBron games in 2016. He did that. Apparently, he said because they were about to get I think like a tie.
Yeah.
So, and he has 33 right now. Yeah.
You guys are good with this, I'm assuming?
Coach Brenda is on the way. Just a reminder, please raise your hand and wait for the mic before your question. Thank you. Questions for Coach? Start right here in the middle.
Rod, is there something that the Bruins are doing consistently that's making it consistently difficult for you guys to get to what you know your game needs to be?
Well, they're a good team. I mean, it's it's always difficult when you play good teams, and we're not helping ourselves. But I don't know if anything specific. It's just they're a good team.
Front left.
Would you consider making a goalie change for Game 3?
Oh, I don't know. We haven't got to. We still gotta let this one digest a little bit and then move forward.
Left side.
Going off along that, I know it was tough taking some of those penalties, but what was your thoughts just on Mrazek's play today?
Well, the first one was no good. He knows that. I mean, that's a tough one. His game's kind of nothing's going on really either way with either team, which is what we want in a at the start of the game there, and then that's a tough one. And then fortunately, I didn't. Willie's penalty is probably not a penalty. And then that leads to the second one, and now that's what happened. Now we open up. Now we get away from even trying to do what we want to do, and that's we have zero success when we do it that way. So it's a tough night.
Left side.
Whether you've made a decision on Game 3 or not, did you just consider pulling Peter in this game?
Yeah, we talked about it, but he doesn't want to come out. He's a battler. I mean, a lot of other guys on the bench deserve to come out if that's how we're doing it. So that's not how we do it, And like I said, the only one I thought he, would love to have back was that first one. He'll tell you that. I haven't even talked to him, but I know he'll tell you that. So we're not going to let him off the hook. We're not letting anybody off the hook. He wants to battle it out, and that's how we go about it.
Tom on the left.
Did you see some uncharacteristic frustration in your team?
Yeah, we got a little frustrated after the second one went in, I think. But again, we weren't very good after the first period, or the last 5 minutes of the first, and then throughout the rest of the game, we got off our game, and give them credit. They there's a reason that we got off our game. They're making us play. They're playing their game. We haven't got to ours. So.
Were you surprised it was Justin kind of getting goaded into that too?
Well, I don't even know what that was. I mean. You talking about the penalty second one? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. I got no comment there.
Right side, Sarah.
Is that why you said that Mrazek wanted to battle out? Is that why you haven't really pulled a goalie all season?
I haven't had even. How many games did I even have? Maybe one other one that I can remember that was even remotely like this. So, it's end of the day. He doesn't want to come out, and he earns that right for me to stay in there. And it wasn't his fault that we were getting, the way the game was. So, we got to regroup, and that's all you can do.
Right up front.
You had a power play to start the second period with Bergeron in the box, and didn't generate really anything. There was an icing. There was an offside. Did that kind of take a lot of steam out of the team?
Well, the steam was taken out for me when they got theirs at the end of the period there. That, to me, you could just feel it. Just that was the cooker. And then, we needed an answer, and we didn't have one.
Take a couple more for Coach. Luke on the right.
Rod, in the Washington series, you guys were down 2-0, but you could look at the game and say you outplayed them 5-on-5 pretty dramatically in some cases. Do you feel differently now because you haven't been able to get to your game?
Two different series, but a lot of similarities on how we've been beat, I think. But I don't know. I think the score here to me this night felt worse than it actually was. When I look up and we have like 25 shots or something given up. Like it felt like we gave up 80. So yes, it feels a lot different. Because I think the quality's been better, right? That we're giving up, and that's not a good sign. So we're gonna have to regroup. I think it's just again, yet the other night wasn't as bad. We were right in the game, and we just gotta kind of remember that. And whether you lose 1-0 or 2-1 in overtime or 10-0, it really doesn't matter. It's about the next game, and we're still alive. So we'll see.
Any more questions for Coach? Okay, thank you. We'll have Coach Cassidy next, followed by Matt Grislick and Tori Krug.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thanks, Riley.
Operations 540.
Does the sound come out of there? Does it come out of there? Yeah.
Coach Cassidy's on the way. As a reminder, please raise your hand and wait for the mic for your question. Thanks.
Tom, can you put this on the Thank you. You don't want it directly into the oval board. Yeah, exactly.
Somebody else would like to think about that.
Yeah, that was fine. Excuse me. The other one, please.
Yeah.
Almost fine. Yeah, that one's fine. Okay, that's fair. Sure. Here we go.
Questions for Coach? Start with Joey in the front left.
Coach, Grizzly takes that big hit early. What do you think of his response overall?
Well, it was terrific. I mean, I think it lifts our bench when you get drilled pretty good. He kind of shook it off and back to work and scores a goal, whatever it was, 2 shifts later. So it certainly gives us a lift. We're not surprised. He's a tough kid. And in this playoff season, any playoff season, you got to take some hits. Take a number. Get back out there and play the game. Keep your discipline. And at some point, if you get a chance to, be physical against them, you take advantage of it. And I think that's the way we approach it.
Sergey, right side.
Coach, was this as close to a 60-minute full effort as it can get for a playoff game?
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly we elevated our game from game 1. I don't want to go through the whole playoff series, but our start was good. They were physical. We answered the bell. We didn't give up much in the first. Maybe one. I think there was one tip scoring chance and generated some of our own. Took advantage of a power play opportunity and had the lead going into the first intermission. It's always our goal, on-time start. Hopefully with the lead, extend the lead, play winning hockey to finish the game. It's kind of how we approach it every night. And I think this, to answer your question, was as close as I can recall.
Right side in the back.
Coach, through two plus playoff rounds, it seems as if no matter what type of style of game the opponent wants to play, your team responds. What can you attribute that to?
Talent level of our group. We can skate with anybody. I think when we're on our game and skating, I think we're as good as any skating team in this league. We have physical players sprinkled throughout our lineup that can deliver the hits, and we just talked about Matt Grizzlies of the world that can bounce back off hits that aren't known as physical guys that can skate smart, but it doesn't bother him. He'll bounce back. So I think that bleeds into whatever game is out there. We're going to play it, and hopefully play it well if you're executing. Then it comes down to, can you execute? Are you focused? Are you making the plays at the right time? And so skating or physical or both. I think Carolina's both. I think they have a nice blend of that. So do we. So it makes for a good matchup.
Kevin, left side.
The Clifton goal tied a franchise record here for 19 different guys scoring in the playoffs. That goes back to '88. I don't know if you remember anything of that '88 team.
I do. Not all 18 scores, though.
Okay. What do you remember?
Was that the year the lights? I was at the game. The lights went out. So was that '88 or '89? Sometimes I forget.
But beyond that, what does it mean from a coaching standpoint to have a bench where it's coming from so many different players? Does it feel contagious down there?
It does.
Does it change your coaching?
No, it
attitude?
doesn't. It doesn't change. Yeah, I guess it would. If we're behind a goal at some point, and you're not getting secondary scoring, you're gonna try to squeeze a little more out of your top group. So maybe every ozone draw, you're putting them out there, and all of a sudden, fatigue sets in for that group. We went through it a bit last year against Tampa. We weren't getting the goals, so you press with maybe your top guys instead of letting the play or the game come to you. And I think this year, because we've scored a lot more up and down the lineup, it's just a little easier to roll lines and look for your matchup, but roll lines and not have to overextend skill guys. And that's, I think any team that advances generally gets some level of that, where everybody's contributing, or someone steps up in a different night. You're not relying on one area. And we've definitely got that. I mean, the Charlie Coyle line right now creates a big problem, I think, for the other team. You got Bergey's line right out of the gate. You got Krejci, who's a known playoff scorer, now with DeBrusque. Now you got a third line to deal with. So as usually getting your D pairs out there, it's a lot of work to play against. If you want to play your top pair against two of those three lines, it's a big ask, and I think that's a difficult ask as well. So it's benefited us a lot.
Front right, Jimmy.
Coach, you look around at the teams that are left right now in the playoffs, and they're all getting offense from your blue line. You guys got plenty of that today. How key is that going forward?
Well, they were mad at Fluto's article the other day, so they stepped up. Listen, we are what we are. Grizz is not going to be a guy we expect to lead our offense back there. Torrey Krug, yes, we expect him to score, make some plays. The other guys are more secondary guys. I think Charlie's in the middle. He's a guy that we do expect to be one of those primary offensive guys. But he's not on that first unit, so the numbers aren't going to reflect it as much. But listen, they want to get up there and make plays when they're available. And I think today both the goals were guys that good skaters can get up the ice and recover if it breaks down. Both Clifton and Grizz, they were up the ice supporting what was going on, not leading the rush. I think that's when our defensemen will contribute. And it usually starts with the forward making a good play, separating somewhere on the ice, and then they're the next layer of attack, and that's generally how our offense comes from our back end. A lot of back ends, but specifically ours. And it worked out for us tonight. I mean, you need it, generally speaking. You're going to need it. That's more of the secondary scoring. It matters.
Feel good to get a win on Mother's Day here, considering the history?
Yeah. Feels great. Any win's a good win, though, in the playoffs. I'm not going to lie to you.
Have time for two more. Fluto on the left.
Bruce, with Mrazek being such an aggressive goalie, wondering how you think your players have perhaps looked for a pass or maybe hesitate just to feed into that and maybe take away some of that pressure?
Yeah, goalie Bob does his presentation on the goaltender, and that's been discussed. Even the first chance Pasta had, he was way out. So we talk about, well, maybe you got to take the extra step. Now, Pasta was getting closed on. Berge has a rebound chance, but some of those situations have been brought up. I just think even the moment the player makes the decision. But if you can get him moving, with Bobrovsky, we talked about that, very athletic challenger. Similar, I think Mrazek's similar, just maybe not quite as quick, but you do have to get it up when it changes sides, generally speaking. So they've been informed and all that, and I think it's just hockey instincts when the players take over. At the end of the day, puck's on their stick. They got time and space, or they don't. They got to make their split-second decision, and we have talented guys that are able to do that.
Last one, right side.
Have you seen in Connor his ability to know when to carry it, to when to join the offense, and kind of to make good decisions. Have you seen that confidence go up as the playoffs have gone on, and has your confidence in him gone up correspondingly?
I haven't necessarily seen that go up in the playoffs. We have confidence in Connor, because he's competitive. He's not shying away from the moment. When he's moving his feet, which we do have to remind him, get the motor running, he can separate and make good plays. And did we see it in him originally? That's all we saw him when we first saw him at development camp. I thought he was a winger more than a defenseman at first. He was up and down the ice the whole time. So it's like, well, that's great. You got an assertive guy. It's better to coach it back than having to push a guy every night to do that. So he always had that in him, his willingness to try to make a play. And I think what they've done in Providence is tried to balance that. They've done a good job. Hey, this is a time. This is not a time. Find that happy medium so you're still playing to your strength, but you're not reckless. And I think he's done a terrific job with that since he's been here. We have not had to talk to him much about when to go, when not to go. To me, it's more about getting him revved up and playing from the puck drop, which is the case with a lot of young guys. When the puck drops, be ready to go, be on time, and I think he's responded well for us.
Thank you, Coach. Questions for Matt and Tori? Start with Tim on the left.
Matt, I'm sure you felt pretty sore after taking that Ferland hit early in the game, but I imagine the 2 goals that you scored kind of counteracted any soreness that you felt.
Yeah, I think we were expecting a very physical game out of them. It's something that we kind of, had that experience of going through in the second round against Columbus. So we don't get fazed by that game, and I think we responded really well, and we knew how important it was to take advantage of home ice. So glad we got the win today.
In the middle here.
Tori, you and Brandon, along with the Bergeron line, saw a lot of Aho through these first 2 games. What do you think you guys have been able to do so well against that line?
Yeah, it's been a good matchup for us. A lot of fun for sure. I think we've limited their odd man rush opportunities. I think that's been a strength of not only our deep pairing in that line, but our team in general. If we can squash and slide in the neutral zone and really limit their chances off the rush, then it doesn't allow them to to get any momentum going. And then in zone, just clamping down on time and space. It's what we talk about all the time. Take away time and space from great players. You don't have as much time to make plays, and we'll just try to continue to do that.
In the far back.
Matt, before you turn the page to the next game, can you just take a moment to kind of reflect on the specialness of what you were able to do today, obviously being local and your connections to the building? And Tori, if you wouldn't mind, just to speak to kind of the game that Matt had and what he was able to contribute today.
I think, again, it was just kind of the importance of taking advantage of, home ice. And we came out ready to go, and that's been the strength of our team throughout the playoffs. So going into the game, I think we were a little lackadaisical with the puck in game 1 in the second period. They were able to capitalize on a few chances, so it's something we talked about. Obviously, you want to have a full 60-minute effort, and I thought we played really well in the second period as well. So kind of just didn't allow them to get momentum, as Tori alluded to, and we should be able to play a pretty strong 60-minute game. So we're going to need a good effort in Game 3.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Look, I've been one of Jersey's biggest fans, since he came in the league, and we joke about it all the time. Now we have, a couple guys under 5'10" winning games in the National Hockey League, and 3D under 6 foot, and we're causing havoc, and we're doing the job. So it's a lot of fun to watch him play, and when he's skating, there's no one that can skate like him and break out pucks, and we take a lot of pride in that. So it was fun to watch him scoot around today.
Chris, front right.
Matt, with it being Mother's Day and your mom being in the stands, can you tell us what she's meant to you and your career?
Yeah, she means the world. She's someone who I talk to every single day, and probably my best friend. And her and my dad obviously mean a lot to me, and I wouldn't be in this position without them. And it's great to share this experience with my family and friends, and just getting the win in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It's you don't want to allow yourself to kind of sit back and relax and think too much about it, but obviously it's really special right now, and just trying to ride this momentum and go into Game 3 and have another strong effort.
Up front in the middle.
This is for either of you guys. As two offensive defensemen, what have you seen in Connor Clifton's game as he's evolved? In the NHL, he scores today. He's sort of getting involved in the offense. What have you seen from his offensive game in the past few months?
I think it's his instincts that are, a strength of his game. It's fun to watch. We call it Cliffy hockey because he just goes out there and he plays like no one else, and he thrives off instinct. So the offensive part of it, he sees a chance and he grabs a puck and he goes, and he's not scared to hold on to it. So he's been a great addition to this D group, and obviously something we want to, hopefully we can capture that moving forward, and he can continue to to provide the offense from back there.
Jimmy, front right.
Hey, this one's for Matt. Matt, I'm sure you're aware of what happened on Mother's Day in 1970 here, and then Bobby's here in the building waving the banner before. What's that mean to you, just as a Boston kid, to be able to play and then score a goal as well?
Yeah, I mean, just to be on the stage and be a part of the team. I kind of pinch myself every day, just really excited to come into the rink and be a part of the team and try to add as much as I can to it. And it's really fun right now, and you try not to think about the outside distractions or anything too much, but try to stay in the moment and capitalize on opportunities. So it's you get to see Bobby Orr walking around. It's pretty cool. So just trying to enjoy the experience with the guys. I've seen him a few times walking into the rink, so never really had the chance to speak too much to him, but nothing but great things to say about him.
Time for two more, back left.
Tori, what does it say after Connor Clifton scored? That was the 19th Bruin to score in this postseason. You lead the post. What does that say about your team? You've got scoring all up and down the lineup.
Well, the guys are coming to play at the right time. I think depth scoring is so crucial for playoffs. Most of the time when you see a matchup, the two big lines are going head to head. That kind of washes each other out typically over a series. And then you have the depth scoring that comes into play, and that's what wins you games and wins you series. So, we have it right now. We want to continue to bottle that up and use it to our advantage. I said it all along, from the beginning of playoffs, if we were going to go and make a run, it's going to be those bottom two lines that feed energy into this team and score big, timely goals, and we're going to need that moving forward.
Front left, Joey, last one.
Tori, I know we probably make a bigger deal of it than you guys do in the room, but when you have so many local guys on the team, Matt, Charlie, Wags, Noel, what kind of chirping goes on behind closed doors?
Quite a bit. I mean, it's all in good fun, right? We have the mayor of Charlestown sitting next to me. That's one of the riffs for sure. But look, that's important to our team. I think we have guys that take a lot of pride putting the sweater on, the Spoke B. I think no one takes it for granted. That's for sure. As a whole, as a group, we're very prideful. But when you have local guys coming and doing it and having the success that they've had, it's a special feeling for them, I'm sure, and we all get a little bit of energy off of it. So we definitely give him a little bit behind the scenes, and I'm glad he can enjoy this day.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.